The final ruling is in on Saturday's Game 3 brawl. Both teams have been fined $10,000. Yesterday it appeared that Jim Poplinski would be suspended for 10 games for instigating it all, but League Vice President Brian O'Neill overturned that, citing an earlier incident this year involving Chicago's Dave Manson. The Blackhawks aren't happy, and there hasn't been this much talk about violence in Chicago since the days of Al Capone. Speaking of which, nice suit.
Magnet. I know a lot of you people out there don't know what a magnet is. That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's all they're talking about here, not the win or the loss or anything. It's in the headlines. It's unbelievable. Chicago, Mike Keenan's in there right now saying, look, we don't win this game, it's all over. We're not going to beat them 3 straight. So they're really going to come out flying. I am predicting they're going to come out flying in that first period. Chevrier, I hope they got him in a cold water right now, waking him up because he was the reason they lost the last game.
And you can see by the graph, score first, get the victory.
So it's important, as we said, to score the first goal, and the crowd will be very much a factor again as the Blackhawks make their way to a roar from the 20,000 plus here in the Chicago Stadium. And Harry, there's going to be an interesting matchup again tonight, I would imagine. Doug Gilmour against Denny Savard. Mike Vernon, who has performed so well during this playoff year for the Calgary Flames, starts again in goal, and there's no change at the other end either. Alain Chevrier is between the pipes for the Chicago Blackhawks. Brian Noonan and Hank Basson. Bob Basson are drafted.
Here's a good chance right here by Mullen, and Chevrier made a nice stop, and Chevrier looks more confident tonight early in the game.
Gilmour turns for Calgary. Gilmour flips it through to Otto, going in alone. Saved by Chevrier.
Gilmour will now hit Otto and put him in the clear as he steps between the two Hawk defensemen. No fake to the right, he just went to his left, and Chevrier beat him. There's the turnover that I talked about. You can't allow that. You give the other team a 5-on-3 rush, if not a 5-on-2, and this is what results. Well, Chicago have to forecheck.
Oh, what a save there as Tim Hunter just failed to deflect that centering pass.
Here's Mullen stepping inside. Conroy, I think it is, and goes in, fakes the shot. Chevrier doesn't buy it. Stays up long enough to make the save. And Mullen, he scares you with that shot because he is one of the best little wrist shots in the game. And Chevrier gambled by not going. Here's Chevrier, who would be the star of the game if we voted now. And he's moving confidently and has been unbeatable to this date in a busy first 23 minutes.
Mike Smith has been given permission to talk to him by Van Sater. Here's Mullen with a shot. Saved by Chevrier as Mullen cuts through the slot. And what a hockey game Alain Chevrier has played for the Chicago Blackhawks, and the fans, 20,000 of them, love it.
Well, one of the beautiful things about hockey is the influence a goaltender can have on the game. He's the only Hawk that's giving the Flames any kind of trouble, and the score is 0-0. And all of us can remember games where teams were badly outplayed, but they could not beat the opposing goalie. And I wonder if some of the Flames are starting to think that Chevrier is about twice his size right now.
By Thomas, a long shot, that's kicked to the corner, and there's an injured Calgary Flame. Joel Otto is down, back in the Chicago zone.
He was slashed by David Manson as they both collided, and then the play went up the ice. As Manson got up, he turned around and gave Otto a little two-hander.
11:14 remains in the second period. Harry, I think Joel Otto is going to wind up getting a penalty because he skated over to the Chicago bench and waved the stick at Manson.
He stuck the stick right in the bench. Well, he did put a stick into the bench. I guess he must have hit somebody. And for that, he gets 5 minutes.
Tom Watt is livid. Look at Tom Watt, the assistant coach, standing behind Ramage. Ramage is trying to block him from referee Andy Van Hellemond, but look at Watt. And Harry Chris tells Tom Watt to settle down.
And Mike Keenan wants to know what the explanation. And this is, well, there it is right there. You can see Otto stuck his stick in, and the whole Chicago bench is screaming at the official because he did it.
Absence in the face-off circle could hurt in the long run. Another injured player as Larmer goes down, and there's another penalty coming up, a two-man advantage for the Chicago Blackhawks. The first time in the playoff series that they have had a two-man advantage.
And it's going to be a full 2 minutes. Larmer's cut, and you wonder whether this is going to be 5 in a game. Ramage right there, right off the draw with the top hand, gave it to Larmer in the face.
Over to the other side to Yanni. Back to Murray. At the side of the net for Larmer. Still haven't been able to get a shot with a two-man advantage. Roenick digs it out of the corner for Larmer. Cross ice to Yanni at the side of the net. They score!
This building's alive, and here's the reason why. They got the play they wanted right here, and watch, the puck just gets over the line. Al McInnes hauls it out, but it got all the way over. And Dennis Savard will get credit for the goal. It got about 3 inches over the line, and it's 1-0 Hawks in a game that they've been badly outplayed, but look up.
It was intercepted by McGill. McGill races after, takes a hit from Hunter, the two of them colliding heavily, and then Fleury comes in, and now we have some pushing and shoving going on. Tim Hunter and McGill, a couple of heavyweights, went crashing into the boards, and then Fleury came in late.
Well, Fleury's going to go for sure. Now, whether Van Hellemond thought McGill or Hunter should get one, I don't know. There was a violent collision over there, and here's McClellan. He hasn't been out for a long time.
So we have at least one penalty coming up. Fleury has it back in the line. Over to McInnes. McInnes to the side of the net. They score! Gilmore! McInnes faked a shot, then slid it over to the circle to Gilmore, and he ties the game. Just 9 seconds into the Basson penalty.
Well, the Hawk penalty killers had eliminated that cross pass pretty well up till now. You know, Calgary, that's their favorite power play. And it worked to perfection right here. McInnes holds the forward on the fake. But the forward should have his stick out to his left to make sure that McInnes has to throw it over his stick to get it to Gilmore. And he doesn't. He curls up to block the shot right there. And it cost him a goal. Shot. And there's the play. You know, Chevrier was over in time. If he'd have stayed up, he might have stopped that one.
Back to Don and Harry.
Nancy Faust is the organist at Chicago Stadium who entertains the crowd between periods. She says she can barely hear the stadium's big Barton organ during the anthem, and this national anthem pandemonium started during the 1982 season when the Hawks had 47 victories and 104 points. It was also the year that attendance began to recover from the lean years of the late 1970s. Chicago Blackhawk fans have definitely put their trademark, Harry, on the playing of the national anthem. Get there. Larmer for Gilbert. Gilbert with a shot. Save. Gilbert on the rebound. And it's blocked by Remy. Taken off the puck. It goes loose in the corner. Hudson has it. He gives it to Basson. Basson for Hudson. Hudson for Noonan. Trying to move out front. Hudson couldn't get a shot. Manson racing in. Takes a shot. Knocked down in front of the net. Vernon is down. Players foul on top of him. But the puck doesn't go into the Calgary net.
Boy, Savard looks dead tired, as does Larmer.
Move in front of the net. It's laying loose. The net is knocked off its supports as Chevrier was down.
Here in period 3, and Chevrier and Vernon have been fortunate at times in the third period.
To the other side for Savard. He gets it back for Roenick. A shot. Where is it? Vernon's got it underneath it.
Very similar to Chevrier's problem with the shot. Vernon thought he had but he wasn't sure. And he looked back into the net. As the Hawks come close, they have 1:25 left in the power play. And watch the chance right here by young Roenick, who's been the star for the Hawks. Vernon feels it back there. He can hear it. Now he finds it.
He gets it down the ice, just out of the reach of Joe Mullen. He steals it. Mullen going in. What a save by Chevrier. Oh, Chevrier coming up with a save. That could be a game winner for the Blackhawks. On the boards and down the ice, and we're going to overtime. Conroy steals it from Lou, trying to center it. Gilbert in front of the net, couldn't get a stick on it, and Vernon reached high to grab the puck. McClellan centers it, nobody in position at the line. McInnes lets it go. The save as it goes to the corner, and McClellan has it. McClellan takes a shot. Chevrier knocked it down and then covered up.
And that was the argument there. Steve Larmer looks exhausted, as does Denny Savard. When those guys can't get out of the crowd, you know they're tired.
I'm just wondering if Savard is 100%. I heard reports late today that he was having some health problems.
Well, he had that bad ankle, and he came back on it and re-injured it.
Conroy, who moved up into the play. Sutter has it back to the net. Trying to center it. Roenick spins around, lets the shot go. Here's the shot just wide off the stick of Thomas.
Roenick on the turnaround, but watch Thomas right here. He fakes Natras to the ground and then can't put it in on the backhand.
8-17.
Terry Crisp watching intently. There's Mrs. Crisp. She looks a lot more relaxed than Terry, doesn't she?
Terry was telling me that Sheila, after the game on Saturday night, said, I was going to come down to the bench and fix that collar of yours.
And there's Rita Keenan, who's enjoying the tail end of her first year in Chicago.
Hansen loses it. Here's Gilmore. And the puck right in front of the net. Mullen was looking for it. Yanni managed to reach over on Gilmore as he let that shot go, but he lost his stick in the process. Yanni throws the puck the length of the ice, and that's going to be a penalty. He closed his hand on that one.
All he had to do was drop it and kick it to a teammate.
In this overtime session, first with the penalty against Roberts, then some excellent penalty killing. And here's Yanni grabbing that puck, flipping it down the ice, and immediately the arm of referee Andy Van Helleman comes up, and now the Calgary Flames will have a power play.
Oh boy, that's a tough penalty. You know, when your legs get tired, it affects your mind, and you have to wonder. Yanni's played an awful lot of hockey tonight, whether he just forgot for a second. In the first period, he might not have made that play.
It looked as though he was seriously hurt. Obviously, he is not.
He got hit in the foot with a shot. He'll recover in a couple of minutes.
Cross ice to McInnes. There's the shot. He scores!
On what looked like a harmless shot, Terry Crisp is right over the glass to give his wife a kiss. And McInnes scores on a shot that Chevrier probably should have had from a bad angle and on one of the worst offensive opportunities the Flames have had all night. But when Al McInnes shoots, anything can happen.
Al McInnes with a goal and an assist as he is embraced by assistant coach Tom Watt. And Al McInnes has extended his scoring streak to 10 games. Theron Fleury getting out there to make a play that set it up.
Fleury played lots of to play. A harmless rush by most people's standards. But Fleury finds McInnes and he blasts it. And the puck dropped a little bit, but Chevrier's got to stop that. He didn't. The
Calgary
game is
goal
over.
is the third of the playoffs, scored by number 2, Al McInnes.
And as McInnes blows it past Chevrier, this is how they react at the Calgary bench. And Coach Terry Crisp is right up on the glass.
Don Cherry, your thought?
Well, first of all, I want to say that was not Terry Crisp's wife. I'm sure it was some member of the Calgary Flames. But let's get that straight right off the bat. And now the series is over, but you got to give them a lot of credit. Chicago did a great job. And isn't it, you know, they say sudden death, boy, it is sudden death.